The date, November 3rd, 2020. It's 62 degrees in the house, and it's been as low as 58. Got to put the heat on already. I'll pull my disconnect right there. Vintage switch. And now that outlet is live, but the boiler is on that plug, so it's disconnected. So everything is still off and safe. I'm going to move all the little doodads I just keep on top of it and I'm going to get my blowgun, and first I'll vacuum it, and then we're going to blow whatever other dust bunnies around, stuff like that, get them all away from it, and fire this up. Although this is the water heater, it says 1974 was the first inspection, and the label for the boiler, which is on the cover, which I never keep on it, is also 1974. So this is a HydroTherm boiler from 1974. The information tags are down there. Hydrostat right there. Main gas valve, 2 burners, 2 circulator pumps, and that's really it. I've been using the Polonus oil heater. Used it the other day, actually. So, not going to be needing that. But I need air, so we'll get that fired. Oh yeah, he's a little tired. I'm going to use my IBM service vacuum today and plug it into the boiler outlet because it's there. You know, it could be a service outlet. I had to wrap this with electrical tape to get it to fit for some reason. This blue thing was not part of it, so I wrapped it with electrical tape, and we're going to vacuum now. Okay, now we go for some compressed air. Take that down. Pop that off. That can stay there. And I'll get my knackered short air hose. Just uncoil it a second. There we go. Put that down. Plug that into here. Okay, not leaking too bad, so that'll work. And now I'll connect my long blowgun. There we go. We're all set. And now I can take this and just blow the dust. And now we're looking at the front of the boiler. There is a flame guard door. You should see the pilot light there. And now Although there's nothing for you to see, I'm going to now have to lay on the floor and get in here with the blowgun, because I want to clean all of the stuff off the burners there. Now the problem here is that when I do that, occasionally the pilot light will go out. The gas valve is supposed to shut, but I have read that it can take up to 30 seconds for it to do that. I don't think that would really cause that much of a problem, but I don't want to take chances. So whenever it goes out, I'm going to stop down immediately and grab my little igniter and try to relight it. And of course, if there is any problem, I can go up here at a frame to the gas valve and just turn it off, and then we'll reassess. But that never has been a problem before. So this is the part I don't like doing. I can't leave the camera here, unfortunately, because I'm going to be in the way, because I have to look straight in there head on. So you'll just get to watch me lay on the floor, I suppose. Yeah. Let me see if I can do it with this blowgun. I guess the other way. Yeah, that'll work. Keep this at bay on the side. And if I need it, I'll use it. So first I'll just blow in here and there. There's a dust bunny here I don't need. That should be good. I think that's about all I need. Maybe just blast the tubes here a little bit. Alright, she's all clean. That's good enough. Now, I have to get the flame guard back in. This is a fiddly process. Oh, that wasn't too bad at all. Okay, perfect. Good. So we're all clean, and we're ready for the pre-ignition test now. Okay, now it is time to make sure the circulators are working. Because the pilot is lit all the time, this pipe is usually a little warm. It's colder up there than it is down here, but that's not very warm. Gauge on the boiler. I was going to use the temp gun, but that doesn't seem it's going to matter. Doesn't say it has much pressure in it. Hopefully that won't be that big of a problem. But we're going to turn it on and find out. Well, like I said, it really doesn't show that it has much pressure in it. That will increase when it starts, and maybe when the pumps start going. I don't really know. I may have to add water to this boiler, and that's a problem because I don't think it's in frame, but the valve is up here and it's on, but I believe this valve, if you can see where I'm pointing, is no good. So it doesn't really admit as much water as it's supposed to into the boiler. And the only way, I'll see if I can show you here, the only way I have to do that, because of how this was designed, pardon the camera work, is to go down to that valve at the bottom there. That valve leaks. I don't know if you can tell, there's a cap at the end of it. It leaks out when I turn the red handle. The packing nut is as tight as it'll get, and it won't shut off completely. So it makes a mess, and it's a pain. And I hope I don't have to do that, but we'll try it by putting the circulators on and see what happens. Alright, when I plug this in, we should get a couple of clangs from the contactors here, and theoretically the pumps will start. And the compressor just magically started. So let me wait for that to stop so I can hear what's going on here. Okay, here we go. Okay, I feel vibration. I think I feel a little bit of warmth in the pipe. So the water that was sitting, oh yeah, so the water that was sitting in the boiler is circulating good. Now the pipe is getting cold, which means that water indeed is circulating. Getting quite cold, as a matter of fact, which is a great thing. So that means that I probably don't need to admit any water. Not sure on this pipe. Oh, wait. Yes, it's getting cold. Oh yeah, that's getting cold. And one more pipe here. That is cold as well. So that means we have water circulating. Everything is good. I like to let this chooch for a minute or two, and then we'll actually fire the burner up. The thermostats are both on. Don't know if you can see in camera, but the little LED that I put on the pumps, on both of them are on. Both zones are calling for heat. So the boiler would actually be on and firing at this moment, but it is not because the gas valve is just on pilot. So like I said, I will let this chooch. My pipes are cold. That's a good thing. And we'll get set up and try to fire it. Okay, so what you're seeing now again is the front of the boiler, and you see the pilot. And I'm going to step back from the boiler just in case and turn the valve over to on, the gas valve, and the burner will ignite. Now, it will ignite. It definitely won't not ignite. It definitely will ignite. Whether or not the whole system will work after that remains to be seen. So here we go. She's lit. I'm going to step over the camera here. I'm feeling around the vent hood, and I don't feel heat spilling out into the room, so the chimney is good. You can definitely see the flame in there through the window. And at this point, I need to let this chooch and heat everything up. So let me set the camera back up to show you. The dangerous part is done. And I'll set that back up and we'll watch the gauge. Okay, so now, like I said, this is the waiting game, not to be confused with the newlywed game or the dating game. This is the waiting game. We played this before, all of us. So now, the top is the pressure in the boiler, which looks like it has crept up a bit. And the bottom is the temperature. Now, I don't have my spectacles, so it's hard for me to read, but that's 220, 180, that should be 140, and 100. Something like that. But things are going to start moving, and it's going to take quite some time. The pipe coming out the top of the boiler is just warm. That's good. The basement is a little warm. The other one I can't reach for now. But I got to wait for this to cook up the whole pot here. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to stop rolling because this will take 10 minutes or so, and I don't want to waste the footage for 10 minutes speeding that up, because all you're going to see is the little gauge move. You can just watch the speedometer in your car. That'll do the same thing. Well, we've been cooking for, I don't know, 5 minutes maybe, and the pressure has crept up. I fully expect we should see at least 10. I think 14 is supposed to be normal, but conflicting views on that for many, 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 many years. The temperature is at 140, it looks like. So everything is so far working the way it's supposed to. A little just on there. Clean that off. And I'll let this cook a little longer. We are most certainly gauging. That has risen. That has most certainly risen. And that has most certainly risen as well. So all the pipes are hot and getting ever hotter. Just got to let it keep cooking up and chooching. All right, we've made a lot of progress. Just barely hitting 10, and we're at about 190. I think the hydrostat is set at around 200. So sometime around here, the hydrostat will be satisfied and we'll shut the gas burner off, leaving the circulator pumps running. I don't know when that's going to happen. It could be now, it could be 5 minutes from now. But I think we have to go just one more notch there until that happens. So I'm going to leave this rolling until it actually does shut off, and I'll, of course, cut the video up until that happens. And there it was. What was that? You ever shut a gas barbecue off? That's what it does. It always has. And it still does today. I don't know why. In the time that it's taken for this to all do what it's supposed to, I've heard pipes creaking, which means that they're heating up. Our gauges are reading 52 degrees Celsius. So that's, what, about 130-ish? Somewhere in there, for some quick math. What's happening now is the pumps are circulating this water around. As it goes around to all the radiators and gives up its heat, the water cools off. Eventually, the hydrostat is going to sense that and turn the gas burner back on. So now we wait until that occurs. And the air compressor restarted because I haven't shut it off yet. Only the best as far as air lines and everything down here. All of these are old hoses that have holes and leak and bad fittings, and the boiler just fired back up. I don't know if you could hear it on camera, but anyway, it fired back up. It's now going to run for a short period of time, which is good, because that will then satisfy the hydrostat once again, and the process will continue until the thermostats have been satisfied. And once they are satisfied, it'll shut the circulator pumps off, and there's no more call for heat. So the boiler itself seems to be working. We certainly have risen from maybe a little over 20, so that went way up. This one is actually even a bit higher, almost at 50. And this one is lagging a little bit behind. I don't know what that all means. They all always read a little bit different. I don't know why. But the next thing to do is go to the radiators, and the burner shut off. Go to the radiators and see if there's heat there. Almost certain they're hot because these pipes are hot, so there's no question about that. It's definitely cooler out here. Oh yeah, 100 something. So that looks good. And the heat is just belting out of there perfectly. That was perfect timing. I'm going to now just walk around the house quick on my own and make sure all of the radiators are getting hot. If they're not, then I'm going to have to bleed the system. I don't think I'll need to, but we'll have to find out. Well, it's about a half hour later or so. Still chooching. Circulators are still on, of course, both of them. The boiler is running. There's probably a single drip. Can't quite tell without getting in there. That valve just does that. And it's just so minor, I leave it. I don't even put a container there. I just don't worry about it. 1974, I don't touch it. I just don't want anything, you know, I just don't touch anything. I don't have to, and it just works. Everything is like fragile in that. But it's now 65. So it definitely is working. I can feel it already. Excellent. So that's going to do it for turning the heat on 2020. I figured I'd show the whole process. This was, of course, an abbreviated process because I did not have to add water to the boiler. That would have been really, really involved and a total pain, and I don't even know if I'd ever get that on video. It's very cramped in there, and trying to get a camera in there to record everything at the same time, it's a big mess. But anyway, everything is working. The entire house, every radiator is warm. Everything is working good. So we'll just let this chooch, and it'll be running until it's ever spring again, which might be in about 5 more years. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you click like. Make sure you click subscribe. And take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. As a little bit of a bonus, buried within this mess is my Campbell Hausfeld 15-gallon air compressor. I haven't started it. I don't think it actually ran since last year when I blew my sprinklers out. When I did start it last year, it had a bit of a leak to it for some reason. And then, because I tested it like the day before, and then the day of, it was not leaking. I don't know what's going to happen. I got to flip the lever here, and we'll see if it'll fire up. Well, that wasn't a problem. I'll have to move that, and I'll come back once it stops. Yep, something's leaking. I don't know what. This is exactly what it did last year, and then I don't know. It's on its way out, but it's on limited duty now, blowing the sprinklers out, and that kind of leak isn't really that big of a deal. Well, this year, actually, it's not the compressor at all. It's the orange hose that goes to my air tank there. The fitting at the end has a bad leak for some reason. There's almost no air escaping at this point, so at least the compressor's good. That's the main thing. The tank and the hose can be replaced.